No, seriously, keep clapping for ours.
Woo!
Like that wasn't a suggestion. This is going to be very different than my normal sets because I'm just going to be trying new stuff. So there's not going to be much of like transitions or flows or anything smooth. It's actually going to be more like a real conversation with me, which kind of means at some point I will derail this train. But it's okay. You're gonna be all right. We're gonna get where we're going. At the end of the 10 minutes, everybody's gonna be fine. I do this every day. I wake up, I derail, forward movement, upright, and get where I'm going. I'm still here, so you're gonna be just fine. Recently, I've noticed there's been like this serious decline in customer service. Like it's just, beyond the rudeness, it's like pure lazy. My dad went to Menards to go get an item, and he found a said associate to help him find said item, and the associate just told him to go online and look for it. So my dad drove all the way back home, went online, found said item, and by the time he got done with the fees and delivery, it was almost half the cost of said item. But it did tell him where in the store to find it. So he got in his truck, drove all the way back to Menards, went where it said online to go find it, and got his said item with no extra service fees. Well, as he's complaining to me about this, I couldn't help but to think, what if prostitutes had service fees? I mean, there'd be like the normal cum disposal fee, which would be like a biohazard fee. Not a cum disposal, biohazard removal fee, which is the condom. Let's not get that confused with the blowjob, because that's a completely different biohazard removal fee. It also requires a biohazard cleanup fee. But please let not get that confused with the traditional biohazard cleanup fee. And then we would have like makeup removal and reapplication fee. Oh, let's not forget the highest service fee of all, anal entry fee. But you know they could do discounts too. Like for seniors, 15% off. For military, you could do 20, no wait, no, military would be a service fee. That's a 30, I was Navy, I know. We are a 35% service fee minimum. All that, I want to make sure I got all that. Yeah, I did. All right. Have you guys heard or seen anything about, I watch weird shit and weird documentaries. I'm 50, I'm sorry. Have you seen or heard about these Japanese sex bots? Nobody? Oh my God, you're in for an education. You have, thank you, okay? Thank you for the courage, for acknowledging that you watch weird shit too. That's all right, you're not alone. I'm up here talking about it. I learned that these can be fully customizable, and they're supposed to be like realistic, like even to the touch and whatnot. You can decide what color you want their eyes, their nose, their hair, their skin tone, their boobs. You can even pick what personality she gets. But my question is, how many do you get to pick? Because if you have one with only one personality, that's not realistic. I also learned about the fact that they have recently started, this is controversial, believe it or not. They started programming them where they can verbally say no to advances, but they're still not physically capable of saying a no to a physical advance. And I know there's controversy about it. For some reason, women's groups are like, what about their rights? Don't they have the right to say no? And that's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into. My thought process is this is an untapped market. What if we could program them to like bruise like a normal human? I mean, hear me out, stick with me. They have really metal, sturdy frames. And if you could program them with phrases like, I'm sorry, you were right, I'll do better. Or even the ultimate, I know you love me, it's all my fault, I should not have talked to that cashier. Think of all the domestic violence we could stop. And then there's the extra market of if they break it, then they gotta send that in for repairs. That's even more money. I'm just saying, I think it's a mixed market, and I am trying to help solve problems. How many of you guys, I love Casper because it's the only place in the world where I can say, do you know who my dad is? And there's like an 89% chance that some of you guys know who my dad is. And I'm gonna prove this. I'm gonna walk up so I can see hands, because I need hands before I say his name. How many of you guys go to the ice rink at Davis Street during the winter? Okay, you know the guy who drives the Zamboni, the one who floods the ice in the bitter cold at night so it's ready for you guys to have fun on? That's my dad! How many of you guys go to the rink side of the rec center and that old dude on the Zamboni with like the handlebar mustache have ever seen him? That's my dad! You know, the one who yells at your kids when they're fucking off and you can't see it? That's my dad! It still wouldn't get me out of trouble, they just know who to call. Have you noticed the older we get, because I'm 50 now, I'm fully fucking menopausal, I started early, no desire for delay. I lost my train of thought, which is menopause right there. You only get so many bendovers in a day. And the older you get, the less bendovers you get. So I keep this in mind as I'm aging. If it's something that's not worth really bending over, I'll kick it over into a corner. And then in a couple hours, when it's bigger, I grab my sticky thing with the suction cups, the one you can fold out and lock it. And I use that to just pick it up and put it in the trash. I have better things to bend over for, all right? My worst experience with menopause has been the night sweats. I don't know if you guys have experienced these yet. For those who have not, this is a PSA. It's not like normal sweats. It really isn't. It's kind of slimy, like ectoplasm. And you can have this literally happened. We're in Billings, me and my boyfriend. Windows open, I'm on the window side. It's like 30 degrees below or some shit outside. All I know is he's got blankets and I'm still sweating. And I sit up in the middle of the night and I'm assuming he's next to me. So I lean over and just scoop up this handful of Mountain Dew. The most disgusting thing I have ever experienced. I'm like, why is it slimy and why is there a handful and not leaking out my fingers? So I decide this is gross. So I fling back and I throw that shit. And then I hear a splat and a ew. And I look next to me, well, he's not there. So he was walking in from the bathroom when I nailed him with my titty sweat. He said, what was that? That was my titty sweat. He said, I don't know whether or not to be grossed out or aroused. I said, well, let me know. So he stood there for about a minute, and then he said, no, we're just gonna go back to bed. I've also figured out that we kind of like, as women, die from the inside out. Because, you know, first we have our menstrual cycle. For those of you who don't know, women menstruate. That's what those things are in the bathroom underneath the counter that we freak out when you see. Yeah, don't. That's what that is. And the dog keeps dragging all through the living room. That's what that is. That's another part of the dying process. Is coming home and seeing it strewn all, and you gotta pick it up before the kid comes in. You know, they're right behind you, backpack and all, and you're like, what the fuck? So you get really good at cleaning that up fast. And then after that, you like sweat to death for about 10 years. They told me 3. No, it's been past 3 years. I'm still dying inside. And it's not like normal hot, it's like an internal core rupture, inferno volcano trapped inside of a 410 angry bitch, happening at 2 o'clock every fucking morning. It's just a repeat process. And then you're cold until you die. That's our cycle of life. While you men get to enjoy the fruits of your labor all the way up until the end. Well, thank you so much for your time, guys. I really appreciate you helping me work out that new material. You mean the most to me. I truly appreciate it.